Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Happy Gilmore 2. And this is from director Kyle Newacek, and we have Adam Sandler back as Happy Gilmore, who comes back into golf after a long hiatus after the tragic death of his wife Virginia. Yes. That was wild. The choice there, but with Julie Bowen coming back as well, and now Happy's stuck in a place where he's an alcoholic. His sons, led by MJF from AEW, Maxwell Freeman, they all have to pick up jobs where his sons are just like him, except dumber. And then his daughter, Vienna, who's played by his own daughter, is really trying to, played by Sunny Sandler, who's really has this great opportunity to go to ballet school and dance school in Paris, but it's going to cost $75,000 a year. How the hell is he going to get $333,000 according to their neighbor and friend, John Daly, who lives in their garage? He's very bad at math. But how are they going to do that? He has to go back and golf. And this film kind of takes this two-pronged approach in terms of its narrative. The returning to golf to, get out of this funk with his alcoholism, which he has to go to AA, run by a character from the first film that is a total piece of trash and an absolute delight to have back on screen because he's so good at being a piece of trash, Ben Stiller. And trying to do right by his daughter and make this money. But what's also going on is this disgusting billionaire played by Benny Safdie starting this whole new golf league that's fun and takes golf into a new modern way and is kind of a ridiculous abomination that would remind you of Caddyshack 2 in a bad way. And now Happy has this and building up to that. It feels a little unfocused. I feel like there's a lot of heart and soul in this journey to support his daughter. And honestly, this movie has a lot of heart, like the original film did. And I appreciated that it was able to capture that spirit and channel that in this film, which was kind of unexpected for, a decades late sequel straight to Netflix that's a comedy. But it does. And I laughed a lot. It really captures the humor of the first film well. And, the crazy way his wife dies feels very on point. His kids feel really on point. The fact that Shooter McGavin has been in an insane asylum for 29 years is really on point, and how Christopher McDonald's really incorporated back into this is so much fun. This film is certainly bloated with an insane amount of characters and so many cameos from, people playing themselves in the sports media world and stuff like that, and just wild cameos from Travis Kelce and Post Malone, and actual performances from Benny Safdie and Bad Bunny playing his caddy, and all of these actual golfers, and then these weird new age maxi golfers Becky Lynch from WWE being thrown in there. Haley Joel Osment is a fun addition to this film. And the humor is there. And I had a really good time for 2/3 of this movie and really put me on a course. I'm really loving this sequel and having such a blast and being back in this world and seeing how, Happy is spiraled into alcoholism, but he has grown so much wiser and had this whole new appreciation for golf because of his wife, and he's a 6-time champion. And, getting back into the game and seeing the wonderful dynamics that he has with all these legends and everybody, it's fun. And all these callbacks, some of them are a little ridiculous and on the nose, like some characters from the first film, you meet a bunch of their children, one of which is played by Eminem in the most random way. And just all of these different performances and these characters thrown in there. I really wish that, I wonder what this would have been like if Carl Weathers hadn't passed away, because apparently he had a big role in this, probably guiding him from beyond the grave and stuff like that. But he has his moments, especially with Julie Bowen doing a great job as Virginia. Still really like their dynamic. Where this film loses me is the third act of this movie really does feel like Caddyshack 2 in many ways, and that's not a good thing. And it's just so ridiculous, and like it goes too crazy over the top CGI heavy golfing at the end that just is absolutely ridiculous. And this conceit that makes these other golfers better is dumb. I know a lot of this movie is dumb, but this conceit is too dumb. And is like a bridge too far. And that kind of took me out of the film, and where this would have been something like I really liked. And by the end, the third act kind of leaves me like, okay, I enjoyed it enough, I had a good time, but like that really soured a lot of the goodwill that the first 2/3 of the film picked up. But, you know, I still laughed so much and had a great time with this. If you don't like Adam Sandler at all, this is not going to work for you. If you don't like the original Happy Gilmore, this is not going to win you over. But it feels, for the most part, a really effective continuation of this story and feels like Happy Gilmore. Even if it still has like that like sleek Netflix comedy look to it, it still feels like Happy Gilmore and not one of his other Netflix comedies that had become increasingly unfunny over the years. But those are my thoughts on Happy Gilmore 2. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.